Hey everyone, how's it going? Octopus here and welcome back to evercrisis. We're going to be talking about Highwind, everything you need to know, min-maxing, how to get 150,000 damage off of each character to get that physical attack boost, every kind of little detail that we currently have right now to give you guys that heads up and that little bit of an advantage to get Highwind benefits as soon as possible and at most efficient way, I think. At least this will be my first guide. So if things aren't different or I figure out something, I'll leave in the comment section. If things really change, then I'll make a new guide talking about the improvements and different ways you guys can do it. But for now, I have everything set up here to help you get through the Highwind stuff with having the most. So the Highwind, let's go through the basics. Paint cans and metal sheets are going to be able to upgrade the Highwind's level up to level 70. I believe as we carry on into the game, when our characters go to level 75, the Highwind might go to 75, 80, so on and so on. But as of now, Highwind can only go to 70. And from going to 70, you're going to need 10 million paint cans from 69 to level 70. So it gets very, very expensive. You're going to need a lot of paint cans. It's in the millions of how much you need to paint this Highwind. So with that in mind, we're going to try to do this efficiently as possible. You guys can see here, exploration items, 0 out of 13. Every one that I get is going to take a certain amount of time, but in total, it's going to take 6 hours and 20 minutes for me to be capped. So I need to be back in this game every 6 hours and 20 minutes. I recommend that when you're enhancing the Highwind, besides its level, you guys should be working on stabilizer to max and engine until you can get that to 8 hours. So I'm going to increase the engine right now over here. And that's going to go from 13 capacity to 14, which now changes my time to 6 hours and 38 minutes, plus the one up here, that's 46. So I want to get that around sleeping time. I sleep for 7 to 8 hours. Let's increase that to get to 7 to 8 hours. So we're going to go back and we're going to go check it out. I now have about 8 hours. I sleep about 7 hours. I don't sleep the full 8 hours. So right before I go to bed, I'll push collect. When I wake up, I'll push collect. And that way I'm never capped. So around level 6, level 7 should be a good place for you guys. And then the rest should go into stabilizer. Propeller is important because it's going to increase your rarity when you do collect. And it's also going to increase maybe the rarity of the rare enemy. So this will be important down the line. But as right now, paint cans obtained 93. So every one collection, I have 13, or no, we have more now. I have 16. For every one of these collections, I'll be getting 93 paint cans. So the higher this is, the more paint cans. The next level is 113, so on, so on. So you want to max this out as soon as possible. Don't go to level 14 like I did. Stop a little bit earlier, maybe level 11, and make sure this is on par, right? Level 12 Highwind. Level 13 Highwind. Make sure the stabilizer is on par. That way you get the best efficiency because it's going to take a lot of paint to do this. And if you're not buying the packs, it's going to cost a lot. And then obviously stop at engine 8 hours. That's good enough. Don't increase it more than that. It's a waste because you want to get this as high as possible and this as high as possible. And then later when we're like at a good level and we want to start getting rare items, increase the propeller. But right now we need those paint cans. So focus on that. How do we get free paint cans? Right now, you get a total of, I believe, 10,000 paint cans or more from collecting 10,000 stamina. So as long as you're playing the game, you're spending stamina up to 10,000. You're going to get a lot of paint cans to do this. What I did, this is pretty much day one. It was 5,000 for this amount. For 7,000 stamina spent, it was 3,500. The one before that was like 2,000. Before that, 1,500. And every time you complete a battle, the enemy drops 8,100, my next one. The before this, it was like 5,000. The one before that was 2,000. So you guys can see that getting the Highwind to the next level, if you click this, to 15. So my next level, I'll be able to battle this guy and I'll get that many paint cans, which allows me to upgrade everything. Plus I get a new collection item, which boosts magic attack. And it's going to have a new thing like, hey, you do certain thing to do it, right? But that's the idea. You want to get to those battles as quick as possible, but you don't want to ruin your stabilizer either because you want to collect a lot of paint while you're doing it. So that's the priority I think you guys should go for. And now when it comes to collection items, this one is the bread and butter. This is what's going to make you super, super strong. So I'm a day one free-to-play player, and this is currently what I have. I've got boost HP 7%, physical attack 4, magic attack 2.8 increase, and then defense and heals are increased as well. Under abilities, our weapon ability increased potency by 10%. Our materia ability is increased by 1.5, and I think that includes healing materia as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then limit ability, so your actual limit breaks, not your summon, is increased by 8.8% potency. And this goes to all the characters. There's a list to click on all of them. Nothing changes. This is universal for everyone. I think later on they're going to have Cloud does so on, so on. Cloud Boost does this. But as of now, there isn't any specific buffs to a character. Everyone gets the buffs you see here unless says otherwise. Now, when we talk about these, how do we get them? Every single one of these collection items have different objectives you got to complete. The ones up here you guys can see are from doing battles against those enemies as we upgrade the Highwind. So there's going to be more unique ones the higher the enemies go, or your Highwind goes, the more enemies you beat. But there's the character ones down here that have their own specific boosts. So Clouds over here gives boost attack and boost limit break increase. Barrett gives boost HP, boost magic attack. Tifa does boost physical defense, so on and so on. You can go through all of them and see what it is. In order to make these 2 plus 1, 2, 3, currently I have plus 12, you've got to increase Cloud's weapons. So 10 weapons at 50, 10 weapons at 70, and then it's going to be 10 weapons at 90 and 10 weapons at 120. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Do not just start maxing out random weapons just to get 0.1%. But you get the idea here that whatever you do, you're going to increase. So as you just play the game, you're going to gradually get all this. The really big increased ones, like the HP, have different ones because they're not character specific. They're things you need to do in the game. In this case, to get more HP, we got to increase our character's levels to 70. So if you maxed out everyone to 70, Kate Sith needs one more level, you will have a total of 6%. There is the battle one over here. I believe it's this one. Boost physical attack 1.3%. In order to do this, there's multiple sections here. You can see Cloud needs to do 60,000 damage. Barrett needs to do 10,000. So it starts at 10,000 and it increases more and more and more. There's 150,000, and this is very easy to get. I'll show you how near the end of this video. And that's going to get you another 0.1%, right? Until you do it for every single character from 10,000 damage all the way to 150,000 damage in one hit. Then you have ones over here that increase if you have your summons unlocked, if you did certain things, you reach certain floors in the battle tower. So everything has something to do, right? This one is a long-term one. Event weapons are going to be much more valuable. You can see, have fully maxed out OB10 weapons, 40 of them, you get another 0.1%. OB5 weapons, I have 54 out of 70, again, a free-to-play account, right? Everything will increase. But there's more to this. So if you guys pay attention, these collection items have stars on them, right? 5 stars plus 70. They kind of work like the weapons. We do have a way to overboost these. So if I want to increase my HP, I'll go to the overboost tab, and there's this rare item. It's called the Asherwind. You can get this from collecting items as you wait for those hours to pass, or you use those gas cans to get through a couple of them really quickly. And I'm pretty sure the rare enemy encounter also drops Astral Winds. So if you get a rare enemy encounter collection, you guys are going to be able to upgrade or overboost your collection items, which goes from here 5.9% increase to 6.6. So that's a 0.7. And that you can see 1 star is about to be highlighted, just like our weapons. So we're going to overboost 1, overboost 2, overboost 3, 4, 5, most likely overboost 10 or more, and get a really huge HP boost from this. So you got to ask yourself, what's important? What should I overboost? Because that rare item is not going to come easy, and that's going to be the really good stuff in this game. Me personally, I'm probably going to do everything that has boost HP, because survivability in the harder quest is key, and having more HP means you can do your builds to have a bunch of damage. So Glenn, Barrett, and this currently has HP on it, and that's what I'm going to be aiming towards. You could do the full damage builds again, right? This has boost attack, and if we go overboost this, we get 0.7. It looks like the first overboost gives 0.7. So that's the items. That's how you get paint cans. You should be doing the missions to get that all started. Don't go to level 14 like I did right away. Make sure this matches right? And this has enough for you to collect. Correction on the collection item, by the way. It's 7 hours and 20 minutes total. That's just till the next item. So it's not 7 hours and 40 minutes. Forget what I said earlier. This is your total time. Get this close to 8 hours or whatever you sleep. Now, when it comes to collecting, that enhancement tab, Propeller, gives you better rarity. Eventually, your rarity is going to be very, very high. And what you're going to do is start using these, the Highwind boosters. We're not going to get a lot of these. We'll probably get them for events, things in here, you know, here and there. But this allows you to instantly, kind of like Chocobo boosters, instantly collect these items. For every one of these used, you get one item collection. So right now I have 1 out of 16. If I push collect, that's the equivalent of using one of those gas containers. So I got the 93 and the 1, right? So don't use these now. Save them. This is going to be the stuff that's really, really, really good at the end of Highwind. So save those gas cans. So talking about those rare items, I want to talk about something that's in the game that kind of explains, but not really. So Propeller is going to be important the more you get into the game, into the Highwind. It's going to give Rarity Seeker rank increase, right? So that probably means, again, rare enemy. And if it does mean rare enemy, then this is actually more important to upgrade than anything else, because eventually you're going to hit level 70 and you can only go into battles as you enhance the Highwind as far as I know right now, which means that if once you're 70, you can't encounter a battle again. So how do you encounter these rare enemy battles? So if that's true and Propeller increases the rare enemy and not just the rare item, then Propeller might be priority for everything instead. Now, another thing to back that up as well, if we go into the help tab and we go to the Highwind rare enemy, if it does show up, you have 24 hours to beat this enemy. So we don't know how weak or strong this enemy is going to be. I think it's going to be based off of your Highwind level, because every enemy I've faced so far has been getting harder and harder and harder. And of course, when we get closer to level 70, the enemies are probably going to be like critical level hard, and the rare enemy might also be very hard. So with that being said, Propeller might increase rare enemy, but also on top of Propeller, while we're collecting items, there's a mixture between Propeller and how many units we're holding. So item units, the units of some items will change as they accumulate. So if you let that Highwind over here get all the way to 0 out of 16, right? We started at 0 out of 10, 0 out of 13, 0 out of 16, right? So right now I'm at 0 out of 16, and I think the way this is wording it, correct me if I'm wrong, it says the units will change, so you'll probably get more of those items or rare items if you let that build up. And if I do all the way to 15, I'll get digits T, whatever that means. And then if I fully let it max out to 16, from 16 to 18 digits, I'll get P, right? The units change depending. So it looks like having all three are super important, and doing stabilizer right away for the most paint cans might not be the most efficient. It is to upgrade the Highwind to get more artifacts, to get you stronger, but having the engine capacity looks like it's also important to have the exploration item capacity increase in order to get those different letter rankings, which means maybe more rare chances, more items collected. So in that case, you want all three as high as possible. Obviously, that's why they intended to do it like this. What I talked about in the beginning of the guide is to make sure you get the most paint cans as soon as possible. But I wouldn't neglect this, just because that rare item of over boosting your weapons is very important. And I wouldn't neglect the engine just because of this one piece over here. Now, if I'm wrong about this, I'll leave it in the comment section. But it looks like eventually we'll get between 31 to 33 for collecting. And if you always get to that amount, make sure you collect it at that. So if you have like 5 out of something, don't just collect it right away. Wait till it's 7, right? If you're somewhere you can hit 21, don't collect at 18, collect at 19 to 21, so you get the whatever this means. The units of some units or some items will change as they accumulate. So that being said, make your choices. This is just what I'm currently doing. I want to get a lot of paint cans because every battle gives me more paint cans, and then I'll use those paint cans to upgrade propeller and engine as I go. But currently right now, I want a decent amount coming out of the collection items. But I will be upgrading this as I go before I collect the next one. So this is just how I beginned it, but later on I will be increasing rare items and this in order to get a better one. So if I'm about to get to a point where I'm going to collect, I'll be like, oh, can I increase anything before I collect and see if I can increase this to 17, 18, 19, or increase my rare items so I have a better chance of rare items. So the final thing to wrap this all up, show you guys how to get 150,000. We go to Battle Tower. We go to floor 22, or the 50 section. 22 will give you fire damage. So you can use Ifrit, or was it 21? No, it was 20. Floor 20 will give you weakness damage plus 100%, and these enemies are weak to fire. So use Ifrit summon on any character, or floors 51 to 55 also have enemy weakness increase. 55 and 54 will give you the ice damage, and floors 53 and 52 will give you thunder and ice. So you guys can use either Ifrit, Shiva, or Ramu, depending on your weapons, increasing the potency, costumes for the characters. You have those three options because summons are what's going to give you the 150,000. I'm using this party right here. The idea is that Yuffie buffs whatever that character is. I have magic attack up. I have ice breach down, so the enemy loses ice resistance. And then Tifa is going to lower magic defense. With her limit break, she's going to lower both physical and magic defense. And this is important because summons take both your physical and magic damage, including buffs and debuffs. And then it takes that total and does a huge hit. So get materia that has both magic and physical attack up, so you're increasing both stats. I hit 150,000 with this Aerith. No costume to increase ice potency. It's just a total of 3,900 magic attack, 2,782, and then the ice potency as high as possible. Mine's at 100% increase at level 8, and I threw all ice weapons, be physical or magical, put the most ice potency as possible on that character with the most attack, buff them up, debuff the enemy, and then summon Shiva. And that's how you are going to be able to complete this. So depending on your account, you might use different characters, Barrett, Red 13, whatever you have for lowering defense or raising characters' attacks, Kate Sith, right? And then use that character to do big damage. I brought a little healing here so I can survive just in case. But that's the idea. Use your summons, use the battle floors because they have boost to those. And it doesn't count as an event because events usually have unique things like really low defense or really high attack. Battle Tower actually lets you do that damage. So that is pretty much everything. Again, this is a beginner's first look at the Highwind. It's new to everyone, including myself, but this is the knowledge that I put together to give you guys a beginner's guide at this. And then later on, when we get more information, as we go deeper into all of this, I'll let you guys know and make a better guide. But for now, I think this is a good way to think about it going forward. So let me know what you're doing with your Highwind. Besides that, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll smell you later.